The war just killed its first Indian sailor, and the ships are still burning. An underwater drone, a US-owned tanker, 1 dead, 16 rescued. Fires are still raging across the Persian Gulf. 3 sailors missing, trapped inside a burning engine room in the Strait of Hormuz. This isn't a shipping lane anymore, it's a graveyard. The widening conflict in the Middle East has now spilled into the world's busiest energy shipping lanes, and it has already claimed the life of an Indian seafarer. An Indian crew member was killed after a US-owned oil tanker came under attack near Iraq's southern coast on March 11th in what Iran described as an underwater drone strike. The incident is part of a growing wave of maritime attacks across the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, raising fears that commercial shipping is becoming a direct battlefield in the ongoing war. The vessel targeted was the crude oil tanker Safesea Vishnu, a Marshall Islands flagged ship owned by the US-based company Safesea Transport Inc. The tanker was attacked near Iraq's Khor al-Zubair port, close to the country's key oil export hub in Basra. Explosions triggered fires on board and forced a major rescue operation. According to the Indian embassy in Baghdad, 1 Indian sailor died in the incident, while the remaining 15 Indian crew members on board were evacuated safely.
On March 11, 2026, a US-owned crude oil tanker, Safesea Vishnu, sailing under the Marshall Islands flag, was attacked near Basra, Iraq, in which 1 Indian crew member unfortunately lost his life. The remaining 15 Indian crew have since been evacuated to a safe place.
Indian officials said they are in constant contact with Iraqi authorities and the rescued sailors to ensure their safety following the attack. Iran's state broadcaster IRIB reported that Iranian forces had carried out an underwater drone strike that blew up 2 oil tankers in the Persian Gulf. Another vessel caught in the same incident was the Maltese-flagged tanker Zefyros, owned by a Greek shipping company. Rescue teams later recovered 1 body and evacuated 38 people from the burning vessels. The explosions occurred close to the Iraqi port of Qasr, a crucial terminal for the country's oil shipments. The tanker was reportedly conducting a ship-to-ship transfer operation when the attack took place. Authorities initially struggled to determine the exact weapon used in the strike, with early reports suggesting either an underwater drone, an explosive boat, or another type of maritime drone. Following the incident, Iraqi authorities halted operations at the country's oil terminals. The tanker strike was not an isolated incident. Several commercial vessels have been targeted across the Gulf within a short span of time. Among them was the Thai-flagged bulk carrier Mayuree Naree. The cargo ship was hit by 2 projectiles on March 11th while sailing through the Strait of Hormuz after departing Khalifa Port in the United Arab Emirates. The strike caused a major fire in the engine room. 20 crew members were rescued, but 3 sailors remain missing and are believed to be trapped inside the damaged section of the ship. Iran's Revolutionary Guards later said the vessel was targeted because it had ignored warnings while passing through the strategic waterway. In another incident, the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations Agency reported that an unidentified projectile struck a container ship about 35 nautical miles north of Jebel Ali in the United Arab Emirates, triggering a small fire. All crew members were reported safe. The attacks are unfolding in one of the most critical shipping corridors in the world. The Strait of Hormuz handles roughly 20% of global seaborne oil shipments, making any disruption there a major concern for international energy markets. Iran has warned that it could target ships attempting to pass through the strait as the war intensifies. The growing threat to commercial vessels has already rattled global markets, with oil prices surging above $100 a barrel amid fears of supply disruption. As the conflict expands beyond battlefields to vital shipping lanes, maritime security experts warn that commercial seafarers are increasingly caught in the crossfire of a rapidly escalating regional war. If CENTCOM is to be believed, 16 Iranian vessels went up in flames in the Strait of Hormuz as the United States military destroyed a fleet of mine-laying boats in one of the most consequential naval strikes since the war on Iran began. US Central Command released footage of the boats exploding on impact, confirming the operation after President Donald Trump announced on Truth Social that US forces had hit and completely destroyed what he described as inactive mine-laying vessels. Trump initially said 10 boats had been struck, before CENTCOM put the final figure at 16.
U.S. forces eliminated multiple Iranian naval vessels on March 10th, including 16 mine layers near the Strait of Hormuz.
The strikes came hours after Trump claimed that Iran had already begun placing mines in the strait, the narrow channel through which roughly a fifth of the world's oil supply normally flows.
If Iran has put out any mines in the Hormuz Strait and we have no reports of them doing so, we want them removed, immediately. If for any reason mines were placed and they are not removed forthwith, the military consequences to Iran will be at a level never seen before. If, on the other hand, they remove what may have been placed, it will be a giant step in the right direction.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth had earlier in the day said that US Central Command had been eliminating the vessels at Trump's direct order, adding that Tehran had been officially put on notice. Iran's Revolutionary Guard did not take the warning quietly. The channel has been effectively shut since the war began on February 28th, and the economic damage is compounding by the day. Nearly 15 million barrels of crude and 4.5 million barrels of refined fuel are now stranded in the Gulf, with oil prices shooting north of $90 and plunging towards $80 in a single trading session. G7 leaders are expected to hold an emergency video conference to address the disruption, with the International Energy Agency proposing what would be its largest ever release from member stockpiles. The day also produced an embarrassing moment in Washington. Energy Secretary Chris Wright posted on social media that the US Navy had successfully escorted an oil tanker through the strait. The post was deleted hours later, with a department spokesperson blaming an incorrectly captioned video. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed no escort had taken place.
Can you explain why the Energy Secretary posted and then appeared to have deleted a post on X saying that the U.S. Navy escorted an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz?
Yes, I was made aware of this post. I haven't had a chance to talk to the Energy Secretary about it directly. However, I know the post was taken down pretty quickly, and I can confirm that the U.S. Navy has not escorted a tanker or a vessel at this time, though, of course, that's an option the president has said he will absolutely utilize if and when necessary at the appropriate time.
And if this was something that was posted erroneously, could it be because of a staffer? Will there be any consequences for this? I know you still have to consult, but just generally speaking.
Again, I would defer you to the Department of Energy to answer that question.
On the ground in Iran, the human toll continues to mount. More than 1,230 people have been killed since February 28th. According to the Iranian Red Crescent, 7 US service members have died, and around 140 have been wounded. The war is now 12 days old. Neither side is signaling any intention to stop.